Her attorney said that we should get those by the end of next week. And now, of course, from Justin Baldoni's attorney, Brian Friedman, we heard a little bit about their plan, too. He talked about how they want this case moving forward as quickly as possible.
Judge Louis Lineman just handed Blake Lively a small win, but don't celebrate just yet. Sure, she got a little something from the judge, but some of her demands were so crazy they got thrown out quicker than yesterday's news. And honestly, the few things she did manage to win aren't even game changers. They're barely making a dent. But what everyone wants to know is, does this tiny victory give Blake any real momentum against Justin Baldoni? Is she about to flip the script and take control? Let's break it down. I've said before that Blake might have a slight edge against Justin Baldoni, but hold your applause, because the courts just shut down yet another one of her wild attempts to corner Baldoni by any means necessary. Looks like her strategy of going all in with these accusations just backfired big time. Her publicist is probably pulling out their hair over this mess. This ruling didn't just shake things up. It blew her whole case wide open, exposing how weak and flimsy her so-called proof actually is.
Defend Justin Baldoni in this lawsuit with Blake Lively because I think she's horrible and she's made up this whole thing because she tried to steal his movie. But he is the most overly feminized man I've had to endure in recent history. Everything he says is self-flagellating over the
Blake's heavy allegations about workplace misconduct and a smear campaign suddenly look thin as air. And now everyone from the media, to fans on social media, and even her former celeb pals are talking. She's become the joke of the town, and nobody's holding back. But hold up. We're skipping ahead a bit. Let's rewind to how this whole messy situation blew up in the first place. A few weeks back, the "It Ends With Us" drama exploded out of nowhere when Blake's legal squad dropped a bombshell. They demanded full access to Justin Baldoni's phone records. I'm talking texts, emails, DMs, voicemails, everything. They even wanted records of conversations Baldoni had with his PR crew, the people over at Wayfarer Studios, and basically anyone he's ever worked with. Justin's attorneys, Mike Gottlieb and Ezra Hudson, weren't having it. They straight up told People magazine that Blake Lively's subpoenas were just desperate attempts to uncover so-called secret tactics Baldoni allegedly used to ruin her reputation and mess up her family life over the past year. Blake's legal team seriously believes every nasty headline, every viral tweet roasting her, even the shady TikToks dragging her acting skills. All that heat she's been catching online is somehow masterminded by Baldoni himself. They're convinced Baldoni's out here orchestrating a giant smear campaign against Blake. But hold on, if you're thinking, okay, Blake, where's the proof? Zrania, Vinia Din. Even the court asked Blake's team to show solid evidence to back up these wild claims. But guess what? They came up empty. Instead of bringing solid receipts, Blake's lawyers basically said, well, we don't exactly have proof yet, but we're pretty sure it's buried somewhere in Justin's phone. So, here we are. Blake reaching for evidence she hopes will magically appear, while Baldoni's crew sits comfortably, confidently insisting they've got nothing to hide. Blake's fishing expedition for evidence just makes her whole case look shakier than ever. And now everyone's watching this mess unfold, wondering if she'll ever find something real, or if she's just swinging blindly in the dark. In response to Blake's dramatic subpoena, Baldoni's lawyer, Friedman, spilled to People magazine that this wasn't just an ordinary legal move, it was beyond extreme. Friedman revealed Blake's lawyers were literally demanding access to every call, text, data log, and even real-time GPS locations from Justin Baldoni's phone over the past 2.5 years, no matter who sent them, who got them, or what they were even about. He straight up called it a desperate fishing expedition, meant to dig up anything, literally anything, that might help Blake prove her wild accusations. Friedman confidently stated they're not going to find a single thing to back up her provably false claims. But here's the kicker. Blake's bold request actually kicked off a major domino effect. The second everyone realized Blake was scrambling to rewrite her narrative because she obviously didn't have enough receipts to back her story, things got messy fast. To be fair, Blake really believed she had a case, at least until Baldoni dropped that entire website stacked full of evidence proving otherwise. Fast forward to the judge's decision, and that's when we all woke up to those shocking headlines screaming, U.S. Court denies Blake Lively's request for Justin Baldoni's phone records. So, what exactly did the judge say? Here it is. A U.S. court officially shot down actress Blake Lively's dramatic attempt to access Justin Baldoni's private phone data. The ruling was crystal clear. Blake's demands were way too invasive and a complete violation of Baldoni's privacy. According to The Hollywood Reporter, the court made it clear that her request crossed the line big time, labeling it an excessive invasion of Baldoni's privacy and shutting it down immediately. The judge's ruling went even further, stating that Blake Lively's team desperately wanted access to Baldoni's phone records because they believed it had proof of some massive conspiracy involving Baldoni and his associates. But hold up, let's be clear, the court saw right through it. According to Variety, the ruling called Blake's request for 2 full years of Baldoni's private life excessive and disproportionate, but still threw her a tiny bone. Yes, she got partial access to a few phone records, but most of her demands got completely shot down for being way too invasive. So, what's she getting exactly? Blake was allowed limited details, basically just identifying certain contacts Baldoni communicated with. The juiciest, most scandalous details she was after? Denied. The judge straight up told her she was asking for way too much. And here's where things got really messy. As soon as the decision dropped, Blake's reps fired back, claiming that Baldoni ran straight to his lawyers, desperately trying to stop even that small bit of information from getting out. Her people accused him of panicking and immediately seeking legal help to block the disclosure. Lively's legal team is now promising to come back harder, stating they'll refine their strategy and take another shot at Baldoni's phone records. But let's be real, Blake wanted the whole meal, and instead, she got crumbs. Now she has to pivot her entire game plan, rethinking exactly how she'll target Baldoni next, because the court just showed everyone. Blake's case isn't exactly as strong as she claimed it was from the jump. Let's put it in plain terms. Blake's team is straight up playing the blame game right now. Instead of dropping actual receipts, they're out here scrambling, desperately pointing fingers at Baldoni, claiming he's hiding the dirt that'll prove their accusations. But the truth is obvious. The court basically called them out for having nothing solid in hand, forcing them to scramble and rethink their whole strategy. The article ends by highlighting Baldoni's attorney, Brian Friedman, who celebrated the judge's decision, saying the ruling stopped Blake from going way too far and invading his client's privacy. Friedman even described Blake's tactics as a desperate attempt to dig up any dirt possible on Baldoni, hoping something, anything, would stick. But hold on, because the drama got even hotter. As soon as the news dropped, Baldoni's camp started celebrating this minor victory like it was the win of the century. People are coming out of the woodwork to roast Blake's legal team, and it's getting wild. Social media is blowing up, and the comments aren't pretty. One user blasted Blake, saying, "Nothing upsets a narcissist more than being accused of something they definitely did." Another one chimed in, throwing shade at her lawyers, saying, "Are her lawyers dumb? Feels like Blake took over her own legal team at this point." And someone else added, "The judge must be so tired of her nonsense by now." And listen, this isn't just random internet chatter. These people are fed up, and they're not holding anything back. One thing is clear, public opinion is definitely not in Blake's corner right now. On the flip side, Baldoni's supporters are celebrating the ruling like it's a major victory. They're calling Blake out for reaching too hard and praising the judge for shutting down her outrageous demands. Some are even speculating how much longer the court can even tolerate Blake's antics. And here's where it gets wild. Some fans are already cooking up theories about what happens next. Someone even joked about dragging in celebs like, "I wonder if the judge is tired of Blake's drama yet." Another person suggested the judge should subpoena Blake's famous friends like they're next on the chopping block, adding, "Subpoena Taylor Swift and see how quickly the tables turn." Could you imagine? Now, as entertaining as all this drama is, things aren't looking great for Blake. With her latest move shut down hard by the judge, Team Blake is facing some seriously tough times ahead. You thought Blake Lively was going through it? Nah, at this point, drama is basically running through her veins. The situation got flipped upside down so fast that now Blake's legal squad is straight up desperate. They're grasping at anything they can reach, exactly how everyone said she would. And with this recent court ruling, it's officially confirmed. Blake's got nothing solid on Justin Baldoni, and it's showing big time. Things have spiraled so badly that Blake's team is now coming after us. Yes, us, as in anyone repeating Baldoni's side of the story online. Blake is seriously targeting creators for speaking their minds because, apparently, sharing Justin's perspective is now a threat to her entire case. Her legal team literally filed court documents calling out creators by name, talking about how they're parroting Justin's arguments and claiming these influencers are secretly part of some shady smear campaign against her. And the wildest part? Blake's team specifically threw shade at creators like Perez Hilton, who, get this, also happens to be represented by Brian Friedman, Baldoni's own lawyer. The streets are buzzing, calling these pro-Baldoni creators part of some sneaky inside operation meant to tear Blake down. Honestly, with how messy things have gotten, nothing would surprise us at this point. But wait, it gets even crazier. The court papers also dragged Candace Owens into the spotlight, accusing her of going full detective mode against Blake. Candace's coverage has Blake's team heated, convinced she's part of Baldoni's alleged plot to smear Blake's reputation. Candace's name popping up here just proves how desperate things have become for Blake's team. Now they're swinging wildly at anyone bold enough to question their narrative. And let's not forget Perez Hilton. Yep, Blake's team even called him out directly, probably because, guess what? He's also represented by Brian Friedman, Baldoni's lawyer. Coincidence? Blake doesn't think so. She's convinced that this proves Baldoni's behind-the-scenes smear campaign is real. But hold up, let's talk straight facts. Blake's big plan to silence all these creators has flopped hard. First, she tried to grab all Baldoni's phone records. Denied. Then she tried shutting down influencers online. Also denied. It's clear Blake thought she'd have this whole thing wrapped up by now, but instead, her strategy keeps collapsing every time she tries to take another swing. And now, everyone's noticing how shaky Blake's accusations are looking. From Perez Hilton to Candace Owens and every gossip channel in between, Blake's attempts to silence them have only made things worse. Instead of controlling the narrative, she's becoming the villain in her own drama. Blake's legal team really thought they could silence creators for calling her bluff, but it flopped so hard it blew up right in their faces. Her lawyers are officially scrambling, trying to salvage whatever's left of their credibility. At this point, they're just throwing punches in the dark, hoping something lands, but the streets already made their minds up. Blake's case is on life support. Blake's legal team just kicked things up to a whole new level. They're demanding that any communications involving big-name celebs, even superstar Taylor Swift herself, be marked as attorney's eyes only, meaning the public wouldn't get a peek at anything. Not texts, emails, nothing. Blake seriously wants to keep everyone in the dark. People are already calling this out as shady behavior. Why would Blake suddenly want to hide evidence if her real goal was protecting survivors or chasing justice like she's been saying? If that was truly the case, why is she fighting so hard to keep things secret? Everyone sees through this move. It screams desperation. Think about it. First, Blake publicly drags Justin Baldoni through the mud, controlling headlines and the narrative like she's got nothing to fear. But now, when Discovery could reveal some seriously awkward truths, maybe even exposing Blake herself, she wants everything locked away. Come on, Blake, we see exactly what's going down. Blake's team is even going as far as calling out content creators specifically, labeling them as part of some misinformation echo chamber, just for repeating facts straight from official public court filings. They're accusing creators of spreading lies, even though they're literally quoting the same documents Blake's own lawyers filed in court. It's clear she's panicking because those documents might show her case isn't the rock-solid story she's been selling. People aren't buying her excuses anymore. They're calling Blake out, saying this secrecy isn't about protecting survivors or fighting for justice. It's just about optics. Blake's team knows if the public sees the full picture, it'll shatter her carefully crafted story. And honestly, dragging creators by name, that's just bullying, intimidation tactics at their finest. Even Blake's own fans think she's scared of the receipts that could come out. Receipts that might prove she isn't as squeaky clean as she's claimed from day one. This isn't fighting for justice. It's just damage control. But here's the part Blake's team conveniently left out. This entire chaotic mess kicked off because Blake herself put it out there for the whole world to see. She was the one who blasted it to the media, violating the same privacy she's suddenly so desperate to protect. Now that the spotlight isn't flattering anymore, Blake wants the drama hidden behind locked doors. Talk about hypocrisy at its finest. Let's be clear, Blake started this storm by dragging Justin Baldoni in public. But suddenly, when the tea gets too hot, she's begging the judge for privacy? Girl, please! Content creators aren't letting Blake forget how this all went down, and honestly, neither is the internet. Everyone is tired of the double standards, and social media is dragging Blake harder than ever before. And here's the wildest twist of all. While Blake's reputation sinks deeper into chaos, guess what just dropped? Yup, the trailer for A Simple Favor 2, where Blake Lively literally plays the villain. Talk about art imitating life in the craziest possible way. The timing is so suspiciously perfect. People online can't stop talking about how life is copying fiction right now. Is Blake really out here embracing her villain era, both on screen and in real life? Now, if you ask me, Blake is neck deep in this mess, and it ain't looking good. But I need your thoughts. Do you think Blake Lively will manage to turn things around? Or is her reputation toast after this? Drop your comments below. Let's spill this tea together. Don't forget, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video with your friends because you know they want this drama too. I'll catch you on the next one.